Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Don Kloss Court. I'm Nick Carmia, sports writer for Courier News.
Jose Mercado alongside him. Very excited for tonight's matchup.
Tonight we have a matchup between the Chaparrals and the Bulldogs, College of DuPage versus South Suburban College. Now, as far as I'm aware, there actually is no recorded history between the women's basketball team going up against South Suburban College. So this is going to be an exciting matchup this evening. Jose, tell me your thoughts about this matchup, about what we're going into here.
Well, I'm very fired up. I'm aware that tonight we're making history considering it's the first matchup between these two women's teams. These women look very fired up and very loose up on the court as they're warming up. Very excited about tonight's matchup. I'm looking to see some intensity out there, some aggression. I'm really looking forward to see this matchup between these two ladies' teams.
Absolutely. So we will return to you when tip-off comes as we go to commercial break. Starting lineup, tip-off for the Chaparrals against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs take it, looks like. Number 10 passes it over to the left side of the court, back to the middle. Three-point shot attempted by the Bulldogs, and it is a successful shot. It is a successful basket there. Chaparrals have possession of the ball, taking it back down the court with an incomplete pass, with number 25 passing it to another player on the Bulldogs, where they have taken the rebound. Jose, we are starting off the game right now with a three-pointer coming right out of the gate from the Bulldogs.
Very high intensity that we can see ourselves right here.
Right inside.
Pick up the ball.
That's right, that has what happened. Number 22 makes the shot. Unfortunately, it's a miss. 25 from the Bulldogs. '25's looking for a pass. Heading up to the paint. Chaparrals take it. Nearly on a breakaway here, up to 22. And puts 2 points on the board. 3-2 with the Bulldogs leading just by 1 point. Bulldogs have possession. Number 10 takes it over to the left side of the court. Beautiful passing, I think, coming out of the Bulldogs. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity, a lot of good spreading out, looking for ways to pass effectively. Takes the shot from outside the three-point line. Bulldogs pick up the rebound from the missed shot. Bulldogs
defense seems to be communicating really well here. They seem to be rotating.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. And the Bulldogs managed to put 2 points on the board, 5-2. Chaparrals have possession of the ball. Number 14 is leading up. Sierra Gibson. Having a mic adjustment. Right now. Bulldogs are taking it up. Nearly blasts through the entire defense. 22 on a breakaway, puts 2 points on the board from Micah Burkampus. Beautiful play, absolute beautiful play. That kind of strategy is what we're going to need up against the Bulldogs here, South Suburban College. Jose, what did you think about that play?
Excellent drive by number 22.
Number 22 from the Bulldogs nearly loses possession of the ball, gains it back. 25 wide open. No defense from the Chaparrals on that, just wide open play that kind of gave them the opportunity there. That is not what you can be doing. It's not what you're supposed to do in this kind of matchup. Number 14.
Oh, what an excellent
wow. That looked like a pretty clear foul from number 14, Sierra Gibson. Just put 2 points on the board earlier.
But this shows that she's not afraid to get aggressive on the field.
She is not afraid. Absolutely not. Bulldogs looking for options. Takes a shot from outside the three-point line. Chaparrals take the rebound. Fantastic. Number 10 takes it over to 14 on the right side of the court. Looking for options. Is attempting to go up the middle. A beautiful, beautiful play, but unlucky on the shot. Number 10 taking it up the middle. Wow, what a dribbling strategy. Falls over there. Not sure if the refs are making this call a foul.
And a substitution there.
Substitution.
Number 34 comes in.
Natalia Saba switches out for number 14, Sierra Gibson. The Bulldogs are going to be passing out from the out of bounds. Wow. Absolute wide open shot there from the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, a miss for them. Chaparrals take the rebound back up the court from number 18, looking for a pass. Comes outside the three-point line. Wow. Aggressive offense, I would say, from the Chaparrals on that turn. 10 nearly makes a shot just off of the rim. Looks like there's a call from the refs here. Not sure. Looks like we are going to maintain possession of the ball. Number 22, Mika Berkampis, takes the ball up the middle, finds a wide open option from number 2 and puts 2 points on the board. 2 and 2.
Beautiful play by the Chaparrals.
Just like that. I mean, finding an opening, finding a pocket, that is what's necessary in these kind of plays. That is how we're going to really up the ante. Looking for options, the Bulldogs are. Nearly just 10 seconds left on the shot clock. She's going to have to take a shot here or look for a clear pass. Nearly just puts it through the basket. Mika Berkampis finds a pass, number 2, beautiful. Unfortunate on that miss. Looks like those two, I mean, they just kind of tried to replicate exactly what they did in the last play, and consistency like that is going to matter. It is going to matter to put points on the board. I don't know if you can you hear that, Jose? From our team, the Chaparrals. Sounds like beat up, something like that. Not sure. What do you think the symbolic meaning is behind that?
Maybe B-dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. Who knows? They might be hungry.
Could be Buffalo Wild Wings. It's not impossible. It's not unlikely. Wow, the Bulldogs interrupt a pass going right up to the net from number 14 and misses on the breakaway.
Number 22 dribbling the ball.
Berkampis comes up. Wow, beautiful jump shot essentially there from number 10, Alyssa Harvard. Bulldogs have possession of the ball. Currently 8-8, tied between the Chaparrals and the Bulldogs. Before looks for an option on the left side of the court. Alyssa Harvard on the defense. What we need to do, I'm looking at right now, even though it's beginning game, just like that, we have to put pressure on the ball. We have to put pressure on the ball. Unfortunately, pass was attempted to be made, but was stolen by the Bulldogs. Alyssa Harvard kind of pushed on the ground there. See if that'll be a free throw. Looks like the ref and Harvard are speaking to one another. Not exactly sure what's being communicated there. But it looks like the Bulldogs are actually going to maintain possession here. That foul may have been called on Harvard. Number 25, boom, just finds a pocket just like that. Another foul, I believe, called by the ref. We've already seen a couple fouls here, and we're at the 3-minute, 22-second mark. Just over 3 minutes left in this first period.
It's going to be a free throw by number 25. No good.
A miss, but she's going to get a second try here. 8-8, 8-8 tie game. I would say it's been a pretty even strategy. between the two teams. Are you seeing, Jose, any kind of improvements right away that you're noticing that can be made from the Chaparrals?
I'm seeing a few adjustments here and there. I believe that they're communicating fairly well up on the court. You can see the adjustments being made here as they continue to play aggressive. And a drive by Chaparrals number 22 gets passed over to number 10.
Wow.
And it misses.
Just a slight overshot from Harvard. Nearly a steal from number 24.
Great aggression.
Allen. Terrific aggression. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Overhead pass.
Whoa.
Wow. Bit of a fight there for the ball as the Bulldogs have now put 3 points on the board. Vercampus looking for options. Looking to maybe dribble it up the middle. I'm seeing that as a pretty consistent play, is you're having our players come around the outer edges of the court, find an opening where we can, kind of sink those three-pointers in. Are you noticing that as well?
I am indeed, Nick, and I'm noticing here that the Chaparrals are going to get a shot out of a free throw.
Looks like 2 free throw shots for Alyssa Harvard, number 10. I would say that she's consistently, from what I've watched in previous matchups, put that in the net just like that. I mean, it has been very consistent. I was trying to think about what to say there, but she's been very accurate in free throw shots, just like that. 2 and 2.
2 for 2. Great effort by number 10 over there.
Number 10 on the Bulldogs, now taking the ball up the court. I mean, to me, I'm not seeing a ton of pressure being made on behalf of the Chaps here. I mean, we're just getting pass after pass from the Bulldogs. But I'm not exactly sure why we aren't attacking those opportunities. I understand that you want to cover as much ground as possible, but when you have so many passes happening, 3 seconds left on the shot clock, number 15 taking it up the court.
Excellent drive by number 15.
Found the opportunity, put 2 points on the board. Those are going to be monumental for the success of the Chaps. Looks like a timeout is being called.
About 1:30 left on the clock.
1:30 left in the first period. What I am looking at here so far up in this matchup, as we now have 1:30 left in this first period, is I think a lack of aggression on the Chaparrals. They're leading by 1 point, but I think they can really stop a lot of the passes that are being made on behalf of the Bulldogs. What do you think, Jose? What do you think kind of improvements can be made here?
Maybe less interceptions. I'm talking in football terms, but pretty much keep the ball consistent with the passes. I feel like they're giving up the ball quite a lot, the Chaparrals, and I feel like if they make those adjustments, they can get the advantage in this game.
In this timeout, I'm sure that both teams are sort of restructuring their strategy, as the Chaparrals just have a 12-1 lead, 1 point with 1:30 left in this first period. If I was on the coaching side, I would definitely be talking about giving it your all in this first period, seeing what we can do in this 1:30 that's left on the clock. I think we could try and gain some kind of significant lead here. Looks like the timeout is over. Bulldogs are heading first onto the court. Chaparrals are giving a couple stares to the other teams, it looks like.
And we resume.
Bulldogs have possession of the ball going into this 1:30 left in the first period. Number 1 makes an overhand pass from the Bulldogs. Up the middle. Close 3-point shot there. But a rebound is claimed back from the Bulldogs. 2 points put on the board, 13-12. Vercampus has been seen, I think, so far, taking that ball up the court and sort of being the leader out on there, the facilitator of where that ball is going to go next.
Great pass over to number 22. Pass back to number 10.
Harvard maintaining possession of the ball. Trips over. Looks like 1 free throw shot, possibly a penalty there. Looks like it is going to be a free throw shot, a foul on Harvard. Harvard is matching up to the net and misses that free throw shot. It's going to be a second shot for Harvard, and unfortunately is not able to sink it. Bulldogs have possession of the ball, going on the offensive. I mean, I'm seeing them, spread their hands up in the air, up to the sides. Wow, what a rebound. A steal from Morgan, nearly number 15.
Number 34 from the Bulldogs is playing extremely aggressive. I think the Chaparrals need to keep an eye out for her.
Number 15 nearly put 2 more points on the board. Looks like it went out of bounds on one of the Bulldogs. Harvard is going to start from the out of bounds and pass it in, hopefully to make a successful play here. Whoa, that was a nasty hit there on defense. Chaparrals lose possession of the ball on the rebound. 34, taking it up the middle.
Repossessed by number 24 from the Chaparrals, passing it over to 22.
Berkampis heading up to the net and is denied from one of the Bulldogs players. Just shuts her down, but we claim the rebound back and sinks a three-pointer.
Right on the buzzer.
Wow, right on the buzzer, as my colleague Jose Mercado has said here. As the first period has concluded, just in those final seconds, we have put a three-pointer on the board, forming a lead over the Bulldogs, 15-13. Chaparrals leading by 2 points.
What an amazing period by both teams. Great effort displayed here. I think the Chaparrals may have the advantage if they continue to play as aggressive as they have been playing through the period of this matchup.
I would say that they definitely have been aggressive on offense, but when it comes to defensive capabilities, I think we can improve. I think we can do better. There's a lot of passing and a lot of fluency on the court from the Bulldogs, but I mean, when that's happening, we have to be on top of our game. We have to be ready to stop those passes, and I think the Bulldogs have been pretty successful on defense. A lot of steals and a lot of takeaways, going back down the court and scoring some points. 15-13, we have a 2-point lead. Both teams have just ended their timeout sprees.
I really wonder what the coaches are talking to the players about during this period break time. Part of me kind of wishes they could just be down there listening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wish we could. I wish we could just walk right down there, start talking to them. Hey, by the way, we're recording this.
Yeah.
So you better...
I'm aware.
That's what we say to them. The Compass passes from out of bounds. Number 24, it looks like. Caitlin Allen. Up to Alyssa Harvard. Very good defense from number 1 on the Bulldogs. Berkampis has the ball. Quick passes from everybody on the Chaps. Bulldogs have possession. So once again, just pay attention here. You see a lot of the Bulldogs players open. They're kind of scattering around outside of the paint. And all of our players on the defensive are really in the middle there. I mean, look at this. They're kind of just finding the right opportunity. They're passing in between each other. I think their setup is very effective. Would you agree?
I would agree. I can tell that the Chaparrals' method is to keep the players on the opposing players on the outside while maintaining their positions on the inside.
And what I'm seeing, though, from that is I feel like they put themselves at a disadvantage there. I mean, you're seeing a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of fluency, a lot of coordination. Nearly a three-pointer from Berkampis. Bulldogs have possession of the ball, 34, looking for options, passes it back up to the middle of the court. I mean, this seems like the Bulldogs' strategy from South Suburban College here, is to kind of just bring the ball on the outsides of the court, on the boundaries, and just find the window of opportunity to take a shot. Boom, number one. Nearly sinks a three-pointer. Unfortunately, we did not claim the rebound back on that. Looks like a foul was called from one of the refs. Looks like it was called on one of our players. Bulldogs, number one, Joaquina Smith, is going to be taking most likely 2 free throw shots from what it looked like from the ref's hand signals there. Sinks one in, forming a lead over the Chaparrals. Bulldogs 1 point over, 16-15. And we take possession back from the ball after a missed second free throw. Alyssa Harvard has been, I think, thus far, a very key player up in this matchup, alongside Bergkampus. These are two players I think have really good coordination between each other. It looks like a bond to me, a very, successful relationship here. You can tell there's some serious passion coming out of their plays. Just wide open through the middle, nearly allows number one, Joaquina Smith, to just come up the middle and sink 2. But another Bulldog player is able to put 2 points on the board for their team. Alyssa Harvard taking up the ball, looking for options.
Passes it over to Smith.
And it looks like it's going to be called a foul on number 24, Caitlin Allen. Or not a foul. It's actually, we're going to be passing this out of bounds. Boom, Alyssa Harvard was right there for Bergkampus for the pass. Wow. Pretty much would have been a guaranteed 2 points there if an out of bounds call was not made. And that is just necessary when you're talking about at this stage of play, being there in the middle, seeking out the opportunity, ready to have a plan B. Bulldogs on a bit of a breakaway here. Bergkampus on the defensive, perfect. Putting the pressure on the other team. Looks like a three-pointer was scored on the Bulldogs' behalf, making a 5-point lead over the Chaparrals, 20-15.
Great aggression, great passing here by the
Harvard.
ladies.
Nearly misses a three-point shot. That would have been, super great. Would have put a lot of, I think, inspiration in the team if she would have landed that in. Very unfortunate. Nearly 2 points put on the board from the Bulldogs. Looks like it's going to be an out-of-bounds call on the Bulldogs, where Alyssa Harvard is going to be starting off the pass. It's going to go towards Bergkampus, number 22. She's going to be taking it up the court, ready to instate a play. Number 14,
Beautiful
Sierra Gibson.
drive.
Wow, beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's
Beautiful
what I'm talking
drive
about.
right there. Pass it over to 24.
You have to put pressure on them. That was terrific. It's going to be an out-of-bounds call on the Chaps. Bulldogs have possession. Number 10, Teresa Levy. 25, brings it to the right side. Boom, look at this. See, they're forming this wall, essentially, where you have a ton of different players on the outside of the court that you can pass to you and just have an opportunity for a shot. Bergkampus waiting down at the other end of the court.
What a beautiful repossession by the Chaparrals right there.
A terrific receival from Bergkampus. Bergkampus has been a top player on the Chaparrals thus far, a top scorer, I know, from the Athletics website statistics. Very passionate player. Bulldogs doing the casual passing play here, as we've been seeing throughout the game. We are nearly halfway through the second period. Are there any, big changes that you're noticing, Jose? Or is there anything that you're noticing on either team where they are really trying to sort of change up their strategy?
Not that I can point out necessarily, honestly. However, I do believe that if adjustments are made and the Chaparrals stop giving up these the ball, that it can put them back on the lead as they were before. Because the Chaparrals are currently down 17 and the Bulldogs up to 21.
Number 25 on the Bulldogs makes 2 free throw shots, putting the Bulldogs 5 points ahead of the Chaparrals, 22-17, with just over 5 minutes left in the first period. 22 Bergkampus nearly loses the pass and unfortunately is not able to put 2 points on the board in a rush towards the center of the court. Looks like it is going to be a foul on Bergkampus, and Bergkampus is going to be taking 2 free throw shots. Being down 5 points, I would say that they definitely need these, and Bergkampus is able to put 1 point on the board thus far with her first free throw shot. Relaxing the shoulders, dribbling it a little bit, and puts the second free throw in the net. Absolutely beautiful, closing the lead that the Bulldogs have by just 3 points. Bulldogs have possession. I mean, I understand that the risk that is associated with kind of rushing these players on the outside, because you sort of open up the paint for these players to come in through the middle and put 2 points on the board. But I feel like there has to be just a little bit more aggression. I mean, do you agree with me, Jose?
I do. I believe that they need to stop giving up these fouls as well. I understand that being aggressive is one thing, but giving up fouls and letting the other team sink in points is just not something that should be accepted.
Absolutely. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. We need things that are acceptable, Jose. You understand that? So, Bulldogs are taking free throw shots. Just going to get one more, number 25 here. The Bulldogs have solidified a lead over the Chaparrals by 5 points, 25-19. Melissa Harvard and Bergkampus are taking it up the middle. It's just kind of a power duo that I think we've seen throughout the first 2 periods here. Back to Morgan. Bergkampus putting pressure up the middle, and is unfortunately not able to take the rebound as the ball was dropped. Number 10, wow. Beautiful receival from the ball from the Bulldogs as they were able to jump on a runaway there. Timeout called by the Chaparrals. The Bulldogs have I think a pretty sizable lead. Not to say that the Chaparrals can't come back in this second period, but it is 26-19.
I don't know about you, Nick, but I think that the Chaparrals need to recompose themselves a little bit. I feel like they're getting a little sloppy on the court over there as of late.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is interesting. Number 1, Chloe Myers. I've not seen her on the court at all during the duration of the game thus far. She's actually originally a part of the volleyball team, the women's volleyball team here at COD. A part of the national championship team, as that team actually just got a national championship in 2022. And to my understanding, she's actually the tallest player on the team, coming in at 6'2".
Wow, incredible height.
Well, you have all these other players below 6 foot with Chris Nobles and Kayla Smiley, 5'10". I think having a player out there, and although I know that she's not too well versed in the sport, I think having a player out there on defense could be incredibly beneficial towards defeating the Bulldogs.
We need a player that's able to pick up those rebounds, because the rebounds are there. They just need to be picked up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think there needs to be a little bit of work on, maybe not a little bit of work, but some serious work on aggression. When the Chaparrals are on defense, and I've outlined this I think several times, you know, this strategy that the Bulldogs have, being on the outside, we need to attack them at that source.
In a clean manner as well, because we keep giving up these fouls, and it's putting the Chaparrals in a really tough situation.
It's important to be clean. It's important to be clean, absolutely. 15, Morgan Niesemeyer puts 3 points on the board, closing the lead from the Bulldogs, just 4 points ahead of the Chaparrals. That looks like it's inspired not only some inspiration on the court, but on the sidelines from the rest of the players on the Chaparrals who are benched currently. See, I mean, are you seeing this? Look at that. I mean, now they have two players sort of in the middle. Looks like they put a three-pointer, the Bulldogs, on the board. We're currently showing a replay from the past two periods here. And I honestly, I think what you're watching is, not enough aggression happening on the defensive side from COD, but some pretty beautiful plays in my mind on the offensive side from COD. Bulldogs have possession of the ball. Micah Bercampus putting the aggression on the Bulldogs player. I'm seeing movement come around from the right side.
Beautiful repossession there by 42.
An amazing steal, and that's what we have to do. That is just necessary. Morgan coming in with the second three-pointer just moments ago.
Beautiful three.
Terrific. Absolutely terrific.
She's been sinking those.
She has been sinking those. I'm seeing a sink. I'm seeing a sink in the basket right now. Chaparral's on the defensive. Beautiful overhead pass from the Bulldogs. The middle looks to be almost wide open. 21. Shot taken from the Bulldogs, and they sink it. Another 3 points. 32-25 with just 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second period. Micah Bercampus tries to take it up the middle of the court. Looks like a couple of hands are being waved.
Let's take a look at that quick replay as the ball fumbled right there.
Morgan looks to be Morgan Nisimar, number 15. Hopefully, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Took the pass. Looks like there's going to be a turnover of the ball. Bulldogs are going to have possession. See that right there? You see that? Bulldogs have possession of the ball. Uh-oh. On the edges. This has been their strategy the entire game.
COD needs to keep their composure. I see they're eyeballing too much, and they're not staying on their man, or woman, by the way.
We need to stop eyeballing. It's time to stop looking and to start playing. That's what you're saying, Jose.
Essentially.
Essentially. Is that exactly what you're saying, or is that essentially what you're saying? Because I don't want to misrepresent you. Is that what you're doing?
Essentially.
Okay.
Let's keep it casual. Essentially.
All right. It's essential. It is essential to not be eyeballing and play the ball. Chaparral's on the defensive. Wow. I mean, what I've been watching here thus far are quite a few three-pointers, quite a few accurate three-point shots coming from the Bulldogs. And it really, I think it's really coming out of that strategy that they have, where you're kind of just circulating on the outside of the court. Chaparral's put 2 more points on the ball, on the board. Bulldogs have possession. Number 1 on the Bulldogs, back up to the middle. Morgan is looking quite defensive, but are we running towards the ball here? Wide open in the back there from the Bulldogs. Takes a shot and misses, and the whistle is called. Micah Bercampus struggling to get that ball out of the hands of the enemy team. Tries to pass it over to Harvard, but it looked like she kind of, slipped there a little bit. I hope she's okay. It looked like a pretty tough tumble then. but she is going to get some penalty shots, some free throw shots on the line. Alyssa Harvard ready to sink that ball in the basket.
And it's good.
And it's good. Should be your signature, should be your phrase that we talk about all evening. And it's good. My name is Jose.
And it's good.
And it's good. It's just like, it's like Uncle Sam, you know.
We need you.
That's right. And a second free throw shot put on the board from Alyssa Harvard. I mean, she has had a pretty spectacular performance. I think her and Micah Berkampis have been really star players, along with Morgan, who has put some amazing three-pointers on the board as well. Are there any other players that you would say sort of highlight this matchup?
Morgan needs to pick up those threes again, because those 3-point shots really put the Chaparrals at an advantage, but yet they're coming up short. We might get a chance right now. And she does not sink that one.
Bit of an overshot there. But she is confident in her ability to put those kinds of points on the board. And you're seeing that when she finds that pocket, she finds that window of opportunity. She finds an area where it's clear, and she can, use that strategy to her advantage. Number 10 for the Bulldogs, just rushing up. Fakes taking a shot over on the right side, and the second period comes to an end for the Chaparrals and the Bulldogs.
Let's get a quick recap of the last two periods. We're coming up on halftime right now. Nick, what do you think stands out to you?
37-29. The Bulldogs have a significant lead over the Chaparrals. What stands out to me is that I think we're being very aggressive on the offensive side, but when it comes to the defensive side, I think we can be doing better. You clearly see the strategy of the Bulldogs happening outside of that three-point line, where they're just kind of tossing it around and finding a window of opportunity to put something in the basket. What stands out to you?
I think that the Chaparrals need to maintain their composure when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. I feel like they give up too many opportunities and they're giving up too many plays, and I think that needs to be fixed on the court if they want to improve and put their score up.
What we're going into is a 15-minute halftime, and we will see you in the third period after this commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the women's basketball matchup between the Chaparrals of College of DuPage and the Bulldogs of South Suburban College. We are currently jumping right back into the game here now. The lead has been maintained by the Bulldogs pretty consistently, I would say, throughout the matchup, now currently standing at 37-29. And so we are now kicking off into the third period here, where the Bulldogs have possession of the ball, but we have now immediately gained a rebound from number 2, passing it over to Berkampis, number 22. Berkampis is looking for options, passes it up to Morgan, but isn't able to receive the pass in time. Wasn't coordinated there very well, unfortunately. I'm back here sitting with my co-host, Jose Mercado, a legend of the Courier newsroom. I've seen him on Courier Buzz. I've seen him around in the journalism field. What are we hoping here in the third period of this matchup, Jose?
We're on hopes of a come-up here at the class court as we pick up the ball again by number 10 with an extreme push. But it's no good.
I would say I've unfortunately seen that a couple times throughout other matchups, is we have this breakaway, we have this opportunity far away from the enemy team where we're able to put 2 points on the board. And I think the pressure just kind of gets to our players. Nearly a three-pointer coming from the Bulldogs. Number 1 takes back the rebound from the shot. Morgan has got to be there to cover that pass. And it is it's 2 points on the board. Nearly looked like a three-pointer there, just short of the three-point line. Alyssa Harvard. Number 2 has possession, takes a shot, hits it off of the rim. Bulldogs running up to the net.
Little stumble there.
That's right. That is absolutely right. There's so much going on. Alyssa Harvard bringing the ball, trying to bring it up to the middle of the court, is unfortunately stopped by the Bulldogs. But it looks like a foul. Oh boy is right. Oh boy is right. You could say that louder. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Alyssa Harvard, number 10, who has taken many free throw shots here in the past. We'll see if her efficiency carries through, and it has on that first.
And it's good.
And it's good, as Jose Mercado would say, and point at the camera. Absolutely beautiful.
We are showing the replay of that.
That previous play there.
Yes, sorry, I had a little stumble.
Looks like there was a foul that was made on our side on the defensive, or actually I believe on the offensive, and Alyssa Harvard was able to take some free throw shots from that. Bulldogs have possession of the ball, bringing it up to the middle of the court right away. As you can see here, they've followed through with their consistency in their strategy of keeping the ball on the outside of the court and coming in when they find that pocket.
Chaps need to keep up their composure. They need to pick it back up. They're dragging a little bit.
39-31. Chaparrals are down by 8 points. Alyssa Harvard is going to start with possession of the ball, bringing it over to Bergkamp. Bergkamp dribbling up the ball to the right side of the court, attempts to go towards the middle into the paint, but knocks a Bulldogs player down to the ground with her right shoulder, ladies and gentlemen, not her left shoulder, but her right shoulder.
I think the crowd knows how to differentiate their left from their right.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to confirm, in case there's any confusion.
Oh.
Whoa.
I'm joking. All jokes.
Number 10. Looks like the foul was actually called on the Bulldogs' end, and we put 2 points on the board from number 2, Coriana Wilson. Number 10 from the Bulldogs takes the push up the middle of the court. Beautiful circulation there. Nearly puts a three-pointer on the board. Bulldogs take back the rebound. Nearly a three-pointer from number 25. The Chaparrals take the rebound with Alyssa Harvard moving up the middle of the court. Puts a pass towards Morgan. Back towards the right side of the court to number 2.
What a chuck.
Great passing, great play. And what they're doing there, which I think was fantastic, unfortunately we missed that three-pointer from Morgan, but they're spreading out, they're diversifying sort of where our placement is. And Alyssa Harvard nearly stole the ball back from the Bulldogs there, but was not able to achieve it. Alyssa Harvard, number 10, taking it up the middle of the court, looking for options, looking to make a play. Fakes the Bulldogs on going up to the middle of the court. Number 2, Coriana Wilson.
That's the offensive composure that we need from the Chaparrals.
I mean, that's, like you said, that's being there. That's there waiting for the opportunity to arise and going after the ball, not waiting for it.
Exactly. You stole the words right out of my mouth. Man.
I like to steal words. Number 10 from the Bulldogs has possession, brings it out to the right side of the court. There's a little spin move there from number 34. And the ball goes out on the Bulldogs with the Chaparrals taking possession of the ball. We are down 9 points, 41-35. Bergkamp dribbling the ball up, goes for a run, and it is just deflected from a Bulldog player for South Suburban, number 21, it looks like. Anya Carpenter. Wow. Beautiful defense coming out of that end.
Nice drive, nice pass.
Bergkamp loses the ball, from number one. Number one taking it up the middle of the court. Attempts to make a pass to 25, but it is not successful. 25 loses the ball on that play. But it's going to be a foul on behalf of the Chaparrals. Number 25 is taking the free throw shot on the from the Bulldogs. Sinks the first free throw shot into the net, with a second one up to par. Bulldogs put 2 points on the board, making it 43-35, with an 8-point lead over the Chaparrals. Number 14, Sierra Gibson taking the ball up this time.
What a beautiful drive, but it's no good. I gotta stop saying.
It's no good.
I gotta come up with something else to say.
That was different. I mean, we've seen throughout the matchup pretty much, Bercampus and Harvard taking the ball up, this duo that you're seeing coming down the court, and they decided to give that responsibility over to Gibson, nearly successful, with Gibson able to take 2 free throw shots on a foul.
She missed that first one.
What you can see behind Gibson is 3 of the Chaparrals communicating with one another. We're going to do a replay on that previous shot with Sierra Gibson, who attempted to run up on the net as she was taking the ball up the court, was unsuccessful in doing so, but was fouled, allowing her to take 2 free throw shots, where she only made 1 in.
I don't know if you could tell there, Nick, but it was brought up to my attention that she's actually left-handed.
So brought to your attention.
It brought to my attention she's actually left-handed.
That's an important detail to keep in mind. I'm not left-handed. Just so you know, just for the viewers out there.
In case y'all were curious, Mr. Nick here is not left-handed.
That's true. Alyssa Harvard taking it over to the left side of the court. 14, Gibson.
Beautiful jump
With
shot.
the comeback from that last play. What you just saw a replay of, folks, she has come back from that. She wasn't able to be. And now we are about to go into a replay from Sierra Gibson, where she took the rebound and was able to put 2 more points on the board, being unsuccessful in the last play. Sierra Gibson has the ball up again, her 3rd time, nearly loses it and is called out of bounds.
What a matchup we have here
It's
tonight.
actually not an out of bounds call. It looks like a penalty shot. Looks like a penalty on behalf of the Chaparrals. It's hard to look at the hand movements from this distance. No, we were called, looks like the Bulldogs were called out of bounds or were fouled, giving us possession of the ball. Bercampus takes it from the out of bounds, looking for a pass. Beautiful coverage from the Bulldogs there. Number 2 attempts to go up to the net, but is pushed over by one of the Bulldogs.
Ball possession has been turned over to the Bulldogs.
South Suburban College here has maintained a pretty, decent lead over COD thus far in this matchup. We have less than 4 minutes left on the clock. I mean, we are about to go into the final period.
It's been quite the matchup here tonight.
47-38, nearly 10 points down. The Chaparrals need to make some kind of a comeback here. But South Suburban has been given 2 free throws. Looks like just 1, actually. Given 1 free throw, puts another point on the board, solidifying a 10-point lead over COD. Sierra Gibson starting off the play once again, attempting to make a rush. A jump shot, but is unsuccessful. Bulldogs running right back in on the offensive side. Pass to 34. Nearly a 3-pointer just off of the rim. And the Bulldogs, number 1, Joaquina Smith, is able to put 2 more points on the board. 50-38, 12 points down. The Chaparrals in these final just over 3 minutes need to start scoring some points on the board. It's necessary. There needs to be more communication, more coordination. Sierra Gibson has done, I think, a couple times now, has sort of ran up to the net, attempting to put points on the board as a solo act, I think at this stage of the game, I think there needs to be more of a team spirit in that play.
I agree with you there, Nick. There has to be more communication there on the court. I believe that just driving up solo is just, honestly, a little selfish.
Looks like a foul was called on the Bulldogs, giving the Chaparrals, number 14, able to put 2 free throws on the board. Successful on the first shot. Nearly successful on the second, just off of the rim. Right there. It's right there. 50-39. Beautiful pressure from Gibson right there. I mean, that is what we have to do at this stage of the game. What that Bulldogs player should have done was catch that ball, but it looked like she thought that the ball was last touched by the Chaparrals, letting it go out of bounds. But we are now going to take possession of the ball. 11 points ahead, South Suburban College over COD. Sierra Gibson and Alyssa Harvard are looking to take the ball up the court, and they need to put some points on the board. They need to. They cannot have any more missed opportunities here. Alyssa Harvard pushing up against the Bulldogs player.
That would have been a beautiful play.
I mean, that is, I would say, the third or fourth straight solo act coming from our players. I don't know if it's frustration. I'm not sure if it's just a lack of coordination, but we need to really start working together here. Alyssa Harvard, beautiful. It looked like a three-pointer, but only ended up being a 2, just short from that line. 50-41, 9-point lead from the Bulldogs. Number 22, passing it to the outside of the court, and a Bulldogs player, number 10, puts a three-pointer on the board, it looked like. Sierra Gibson. Beautiful pass. Unlucky, very unlucky. I would say this has been, a pretty, unfortunately, a pretty consistent loss of play for the past few times we've been on offense. We haven't scored, I think, many points in these last 2 minutes here, really.
The Chaparrals need to keep their heads up, too. I see the kind of bowing down. They need to keep that confidence if they wish to succeed in this matchup.
Number 14. Or is that, no, that's number 24. Number 24, Caitlin Allen, puts 2 free throws on the board, and that is just necessary at this point. We are just below the 2-minute mark in the third period. We need as many points as we can get to close that lead as much as possible going into the fourth period. Unlucky there from number 10 on the Bulldogs. Nearly puts 2 points on the board. Alyssa Harvard taking the ball down the court, rushing it onto the net, and puts 2 points on the board.
What a beautiful job.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And gets a foul. It looks like we're going to be able to put 2 free throws potentially on the board as well. 52-45. Or that was a timeout. That was not a foul. Looks like South Suburban College has called a timeout. I don't know if it's them getting worried. I don't know if it's them restructuring their defense or their offense. But I'll tell you something, Jose. What are you thinking that the Chaparrals have to do here in this final minute and 30 in the third period?
Communication overall. I see them just trying to do things on their own. I feel like if they don't compose themselves as a team, sorry for stuttering, they will be unsuccessful out on the court.
No reason to apologize. This game is so exciting that I've stuttered multiple times. Understand that? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We are down by just 7 points, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of time in this third period to put some points on the board, to close that lead, and in the fourth period, really come back. Sierra Gibson on the defense, very aggressive. That's what we want to see. Wide open in the middle there, but thankfully the Chaps were able to stop that play in the paint. Alyssa Harvard coming up the left side of the court. Sierra Gibson takes possession of the ball, looking for a really interesting pass there. Kind of a side pass, not sure kind of what the strategy was there. Unfortunately, it did go out of bounds. Number 1 of the Bulldogs passes from out of bounds. Sierra Gibson. See right there what you're watching from number 14. Head down, creeped over. I mean, that's a player who wants to, really get serious here. Wants to get intimate in this play. Sierra Gibson takes the ball on the rebound, brings it up the net. Let's see if she's going to kind of do a solo act there. Nope, she manages to pass it. Close call for Alyssa Harvard there on making the three-pointer. Bulldogs have possession of the ball again. Beautiful pass on the right side to 34 from number 10 on the Bulldogs. The Chaps take the rebound. Alyssa Harvard bringing it down the middle of the court.
Comes out short.
4 seconds left on the clock for this third period. Not sure who that foul was called on. It could be on a member of the Bulldogs, but I'm thinking that we will get 2 free throw shots. It looks like that is what it's going to be. Number 24, Caitlin Allen, in these last 4 seconds to make 2 free throw shots. We need these points. Unfortunately, misses the first. But scoring this second could mean closing that lead. Beautiful. Sinks that second ball in the basket, putting a 6-point lead. Looks like the Bulldogs tried to do a little roll on the floor there, trying to waste a little time. And we go into the fourth period, 52-46, as the Bulldogs maintain a 6-point lead over the Chaparrals.
What a period, I gotta say. What are your thoughts, Nick? How do you think the game's ultimately going to come out to?
Well, here's what's interesting is just recently the Chaparrals played against Milwaukee Technical College. The final matchup for them in the N4C conference, where they've now become a championship team of. And what I was talking to somebody that was on the Chaparrals, sort of an assistant coach, deals with a lot of the technical stuff. He was telling me that they were down pretty significantly in that game against Milwaukee. But due to a very inspirational and motivational speech from the head coach, Abigail Talley, they really came back and ended up succeeding in that game and putting a victory over Milwaukee. So I'm thinking with a 6-point lead from the Bulldogs in the fourth period, what I'm looking right now is players that are really intact, that are really focused in and want to be successful in this fourth period and take home that victory.
I agree with you there, Nick. I think that the Chaparrals do have a chance of making quite a comeback, especially considering the outcome of their last match against Milwaukee.
It's not like an incredibly significant lead that the Bulldogs have over them. There is plenty of time and plenty of room to make a comeback.
A lot can happen in the quarter. A lot can happen in the quarter. Absolutely. And we are going to be starting off in the fourth period, 10 minutes on the clock to gain a lead over the Bulldogs. Sierra Gibson, first play of the fourth period, attempts to just bring the ball right up the center, solo act. Sierra Gibson on the defense. Bulldogs passing around on the outside of the three-point line. Looking for options. Right now, we need to put somebody on that ball. That's what we have to do. We need to maintain pressure. And I'm just not seeing this on the defense. But there we go. We picked up a rebound. Fantastic. Harvard rushing right down the court. Loses the ball. Number 1 takes possession on the Bulldogs. Sierra Gibson flapping her arms. Slips back. But I love that effort. Staying on top of the ball, maintaining that pressure, keeping an aggressive stature.
on the Bulldogs. That's what we need to do with less than 10 minutes left on the clock. Looks like the Bulldogs are going to get some penalty shots here. Take a couple free throws. We're going to put one free throw on the board. 53-46. 7-point lead over the Chaparrals. And number 25 on the Bulldogs is also going to close out on that second free throw. With now an 8-point lead over the Chaparrals and less than just under 9 minutes on the clock, Sierra Gibson is going to lead the play. Bercampus takes it up to the middle of the court and puts 2 points on the board. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
What an excellent try by that.
It's what you have to do. We are running on borrowed time here. Number 10 nearly makes the shot. See right there, I mean, just wide open on the outside. The Bulldogs are doing just a fantastic job. Their performance on the outside of the court. Gibson up the middle, up to Bercampus, and it is denied by number 34 on the Bulldogs, Leilani Murray. It's a pretty fantastic deflection there. Alyssa Harvard gets the ball from out of bounds on a pass. Close, but no points. Bulldogs take possession of the ball. 22 brings it to number 10. Teresa Levy, I think we've also seen on the Bulldogs consistently bringing up the ball and being the playmaker. These passes on the outside of the nets have, on the outside of the net here, on the outer boundaries of the court, on the offensive for the Bulldogs, have been very consistent, have been very accurate, and I think that's what's kind of given them the edge in this matchup. Gibson takes it up the middle, looks for options. Alyssa Harvard, close pass there. Switches places with Gibson. Gibson running around. Bercampus, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. We need these points. Oh, so close. So close on that three-point shot from number 24. Beautiful. Sierra Gibson runs into the middle of the court and denies the Bulldog player from taking that shot in the middle. I got worried there. I got worried there that they were wide open and then nobody was going to do anything about it. I was so worried. I was quaking in my boots.
I saw you jump out of your seat.
That's
there
what
for
I'm
a
saying.
second.
Beautiful denial there. Terrific defense. 34 is able to whip that shot around and into the basket. 58-48, 10-point lead over the Chaparrals the Bulldogs have. Gibson leads the play. Three-pointer coming from number 2, Coriana Wilson. Fantastic. That is going to give them the edge. That is going to close that lead, and that's what we need. Beautiful rhyming right there. You saw that? It's going to close that lead. It's going to give what we need. That's what I'm talking about.
I like your rhyme scheme.
You got to put, not sure if that was a foul called, which could give the Bulldogs some free throw shots. Looks like it was a penalty on the Chaps. Bulldogs player number 25, Gardner, is going to be taking her free throw shots. Just one to shoot and misses. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Number 10, Alyssa Harvard, leading the play. 24, looking for options. Takes it to number 2, Coriana. Harvard. Beautiful fake. Turning herself around to deflect from the enemy player, but unfortunately is not able to put 2 points on the board in her run up to the net. But there was a foul called on the Bulldogs. Not sure what player it was, but Harvard, Alyssa Harvard, number 10, will be taking 2 free throw shots. We need these, ladies and gentlemen. We need these to close the gap and only put a 7-point lead over us from the Bulldogs. Definitely a lot of pressure coming towards the Chaps as this fourth period comes to a close with just 6 minutes and 7 seconds left in the fourth period. I know that these players, they are motivated. Like we were talking about earlier, we just became N4C champions in that conference, and that's 5 other schools. That's Milwaukee Area Technical College, that's Joliet Junior College, that's Madison College, that's Harper College, that's all these other schools where we went 6-0 against them. So we have the energy, we have the performance. And when you talk about where this team is coming from, you look back to the beginning of the season, starting off with a 5-game losing streak, and we have come back and put our record at 13-13. These Chaps are motivated to play. No doubt about that. There is passion on that field. And you're seeing this in this game. 8-point lead over the Chaps from the Bulldogs. Number 34 on the Bulldogs, looking for a play. Alyssa Harvard kind of just stands back after she tried to play defensive on there. 3-pointer shot from number 10 misses. Gibson picks up the rebound. Bulldog player trying to tear the ball from Gibson's hands. Whistle is called. Looks like it's going to be an out-of-bounds startup with Alyssa Harvard passing it up to Gibson. That Bulldog player was aggressive in trying to tear that ball out of Gibson's hands.
Quite the Bulldog.
Yeah, that's a strong breed. There's no doubt about that. Burkampus up the middle. Is pushed over. Looks like she's going to be taking a free throw shot. 2 free throw shots for Burkampus. We need these points. Beautiful. Burkampus closes the lead between the Chaps and the Bulldogs, 60-53 with a 7-point difference.
And another swish.
And another swish. That's how you do it.
That's how you do
That's
it.
right, as Jose Mercado would say. We need to be on the defensive. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in this final period of the women's basketball game between South Suburban and College of DuPage. We need to be watching those passes. Yeah, I saw that. 34 kind of put her hand up, it looked like. Kind of put her hand up and sort of tapped one of the chaparrals' faces, just like that, as you're seeing on camera. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. She didn't extend her hand, but she hit him with her forearm, it looked like. Is this the forearm?
That is the forearm.
That's the forearm, ladies and gentlemen.
Quick little anatomy lecture with Miss
Alyssa Harvard going into the middle of the court. Back to Harvard. Nearly just lands a 3-point shot. Gibson with the beautiful energy.
Beautiful repossession.
Going up. Nearly just puts 2 points on the board. Called out of bounds on the Bulldogs with Harvard starting with the possession. We are boiling down here to 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Timeout called.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to who wants it more.
Who wants it more? Who does want it more, Jose?
Right now, it's looking like the Bulldogs may want it slightly more.
Well, I mean, from that just latest display from Gibson, I mean, talk about somebody who was on top of the ball. I feel like we haven't been seeing that from here these past couple periods, but going to this fourth period, as the time is ticking down, she's really jumping on those opportunities.
Absolutely. She's the one that's got me fired up this period that we're currently watching.
She got you fired up?
She's got me fired up.
Are you warm? You're not cold.
I'm fired up.
Head coach Abigail Talley, definitely giving it some inspiration. You could see her kind of shouting on the court, trying to maintain the plays that are being made. We need all the points we can get. We cannot miss a single opportunity. Gibson brings it over to 24, looking for options, dribbles it up. Alyssa Harvard takes it.
The fight for the ball.
An attempted tear from number 1 on the Bulldogs. Looks like it was called out on the Chaparrals. Number 10 from the Bulldogs. Wow. Kind of jukes out one of the Chaparrals players, gives a little point to one of them, as I believe that was Gibson who slid back on the ground. There is, I mean, I'm detecting definitely some
Beautiful three.
Three-pointer from number 22, Micah Burkampus. Fantastic display. Fantastic performance. 63 to 57, 6-point difference. The Chaparrals are down by 6 points. We need to be on the defensive, and we need to attack on the offensive. It's just necessary at this point.
Another fight for the ball comes out to a stumble.
I'll tell you what, there have been quite a few fights for the ball in this last period. With just under 3.5 minutes in the last period, you are watching some wear and tear. You are watching these players go at each other for possession, trying to rip the ball out of each other's hands. They both want this victory.
I gotta admit to you, Nick, this quarter has got me at the edge of my seat.
Really, because you're pretty in your seat right now, actually.
In a metaphorical sense.
You should get
in a
close.
metaphorical sense, Nick.
34 tries to make a three-pointer. See right there, the Bulldogs maintain possession of the ball in that, but it was loose. Burkampus was there to take that ball. 2 points put on the board for the Bulldogs, 65 to 57. We need to start making some serious plays.
Only 3 minutes left on the clock.
Gibson up the middle.
Oof.
Tried to do a bit of a solo act there and then attempt to pass it to one of her teammates, but ended up passing it to one of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs on the other side on the offensive are not able to put a shot in the net, but were able to get a foul. Looks like 2 free throw shots for the Bulldogs. 65 to 57. Bulldogs player number 1, Joaquina Smith, misses the first free throw, but is allowed a second. Bulldogs have now solidified their lead, 66 to 57 over the Chaps, a 9-point lead. Looks like Gibson is giving some kind of hand signal to determine the formation of the rest of the team. Another solo play from Gibson. We've seen that pretty consistently, but she's going right back for the ball in the rebound.
I am loving her aggression out on the court.
She's got fantastic aggression, but she's got all these other players that are open. You know, watching this from a bird's eye view, I'm seeing a lot of these opportunities kind of being missed when she goes up there independently.
Right about that, Nick.
Burkampus rushing it down. Morgan right there. Misses the breakaway.
That was wide open, and that should have been one.
Had the opportunity. We cannot, with just 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock, we cannot.
The Chaparrals cannot afford to miss those opportunities.
We can't afford it. Can we? We can't. I don't have enough money to afford it, Jose. I don't have enough money.
I don't have money to afford many things.
Timeout is called. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. 66 Bulldogs, 57 Chaparrals. In these last 2 minutes, what are you hoping to see from the Chaparrals, Jose?
Like I said before, they need to recollect their composure. They can't be having those solo plays just go driving straight down the middle. A lot more passing needs to be done if they want to maintain possession of the ball.
As we talked about in the beginning of the game's coverage too, this is our first time against South Suburban College. You know, the teams are different over the years, but I think that honestly gives us a bit of a disadvantage as far as what kind of program we're expecting. But we should be prepared. We should be prepared for any kind of team that tries to step on Don Kloss court and go up against the Chaparrals. And with the Bulldogs 66 over 57, we need to start making some serious plays. We needed to receive that ball from number 2, it looked like. Bulldogs put 2 more points on the board. Alyssa Harvard bringing it up the court. And is not able to make that solo play happen. I'm seeing a lot of the, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Jose, but we talked about this, pretty extensively, I would say, in this game. We're seeing a lot of our players in these, important last moments go up on their own and try and put points on the board. But we need to coordinate. We need to coordinate among team members. There needs to be communication, because then it's not the team playing anymore. It's you, just the player, the one person playing.
Absolutely.
Bulldogs are looking to make a play here.
Whoa.
Looks like those 2 points are going to not count for the Bulldogs, or they are. It's 70-57. Wow. 70-57, putting 2 points on the board from number 1, Joaquina Smith. She's also going to get 1 free throw shot, it looks like. Or 2. I can't see. I can't see what the ref is saying sometimes, but just 1 free throw, and it is a miss. 70-57, less than a minute and a half left on the clock for the Chaparrals to make a comeback here. Burkampus with the ball coming up the middle of the net. Puts 2 points on the board, closing the lead. 70-59, 11 points. We need to get those rebounds as fast as possible. We need to be on the defensive as fast as possible. Putting pressure right now on this team. Watch 34.
1 minute left on the clock.
1 minute left. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Number 10 attempting to bring it up. Called out of bounds. Let's start. Let's jump right in. Get on top of that ball, Harvard. 50 seconds left on the clock. Timeout called by COD. With 50 seconds left on the clock and an 11-point lead from the Bulldogs, this would be quite an historic comeback from the Chaparrals if they manage to take the lead in this matchup. Do you think that's a possibility, Jose?
I think it's a possibility considering the outcome of their previous match against the Milwaukee school that you had mentioned earlier. If this team really wants to win, and if they stay composed as they should, they have a chance.
You can see everybody on the Chaparrals end very in tune. You can kind of compare that to what's happening over on the Bulldogs end. It's kind of more of a, it seems to me like more of a loose environment, like they're confident that they have this win, that this victory is going to land in their pocket.
However,
but anything could happen in these last 50 seconds.
Exactly. And if one gets overconfident, one may lose their position in this game.
Starting lineup in these last 50 seconds. Number 22, Burkampus. Number 10, Harvard. Number 2, Wilson. Number 42, Kayla Smiley, who I feel like we haven't really seen throughout this matchup. Morgan takes possession of the ball. Nearly puts 2 points on the board. We cannot, at this stage in the game, we cannot miss those shots. We simply cannot. We have to be as coordinated as possible. Head coach Abigail Talley rolling up her sleeves. Very intimate with the game here, watching exactly what's happening. Number 10, looking to kind of waste time is sort of the way I'm interpreting it.
Stalling it out to maintain
We have to be on the attack. We have to be on the attack. Nearly puts 2 points on the board. The Chaps are rushing down the court with less than 15 seconds, 10 seconds on the clock. You can hear the audience sort of counting down. Nearly puts a three-pointer on the board from number 2. 4 seconds left on the clock. It looks like this matchup is going to go to the South Suburban College Bulldogs, but we'll see if the Chaparrals can put any more points on the board. And it is a stall for time and an end to the women's basketball matchup between South Suburban College and the College of DuPage, the Bulldogs and the Chaparrals. The Bulldogs have won this matchup. The Bulldogs from South Suburban College have won this matchup in the women's basketball game 70-69. 59, I believe. They removed the score over there, but significant lead that they maintained throughout the matchup between South Suburban and College of DuPage. You saw amazing performances happening on both sides.
Great effort by both teams overall. Can't deny that. However, the Chaparrals did come off short in this match, and I think that if they maintain their composure during the match like they should have, and as opposed to just going out solo and just trying to drive by themselves, they should have made more passes, I feel like. And
I think there was a lot of terrific aggression coming out, not only from both sides, but I think especially from COD, especially in this last period. I wish I could have kind of seen more of that when they were on the defense and the offense. So there was great aggression coming out. I thought they put a decent amount of pressure on the other team. I think there could have been more, but I thought personally that the strategy coming out of South Suburban, I mean, it was consistent enough to point out. You know, it's different from a bird's eye view and not being on the court watching this happen, but you saw how they were making this play, these constant plays around the court, passing to one another, just finding the opportunity to go in or take a shot on the outside. But that concludes our matchup in the women's basketball match against COD and South Suburban College. We are going to go to commercial break. Unfortunate loss coming out of this matchup, but what do you think were sort of the biggest challenges that the Chaparrals had struggled with in this matchup?
I mean, our mental game is what really took us out of this, right? The fact that we couldn't hit down a couple of our shots, other team kind of trash talking a little bit really affected us, and during these types of games where it's going to be close the whole time, we got to be able to deal with adversity, stay mentally strong, and obviously we came up short, still a lot to work on, but this is a good example of what we're not going to do when it comes to regions.
And being able to overcome these adversities, like you said, is so important. And when I'm watching from up above, I mean, you are out of your seat 100% of the time, hovering over your players, making sure that their passion is still there on the court.
Absolutely.
How important do you think that is, especially when you're talking about, you know, a competitor that's hard to go up against?
If it fails, can we do the intro?
Especially against, like I said, teams like this. If you give up that energy at all, even for just a small spurt of time, they're going to take advantage of it. And then when you're down by any amount, it's hard to come back on teams like this. I mean, South Suburban's a good team. They can hit some key shots. So the fact that we kept digging ourselves in a hole and then kind of climbing out of it, but then taking a couple more steps backwards, that's what really shot us in the foot at the end. So
your team recently just became M4C Conference Champions, 6-0. Fantastic record there. I mean, when you talk about looking back to the beginning of the season, going on a bit of a losing streak, but coming back and forging this new record, 13-13, I mean, where did this kind of inspiration come from?
I mean, the inspiration was always there. It was kind of more just the confidence, right? The girls knew that that was the goal from the get-go, but they needed the confidence to start believing in themselves. Once we beat Malcolm X, I would say, in the first half of the season, that's when we flipped the switch, right? We kind of held together, we came together as a team. Again, just reassurance that you guys are a good team. We've gotten to this point, we beat them before, and that's all it really took just for them to flip the switch, and that's where it went.